Well, hello and welcome all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land to the Texas Special YouTube channel. In front of you we have a Bachmann Santa Fe crane and boom car. Now this is an older set of cars, late 80s, early 90s, I want to say. These cars did come equipped with those hideous horn hook couplers. They've since been replaced with Katie's. The crane car has some fading on the lettering here, but other than that, fairly crisp and clean separation between the red of the body of the crane housing and or cab rather, and the white of the Santa Fe lettering. The frame of the car is a plastic construction, as is the cab assembly, and it has these nice friction bearing equipped 6-axle or 3-axle trucks for a 6-axle car. You have lots of cast on detailing on this thing, and let's see if I can zoom in on just the car, give you a little better look at some of the details. You can see all the rivet detailing along the frame of the car, as well as some fairly decent cast on detailing on the trucks of the car. You have this cast on ladder here and stirrup step. You have some rivet detailing along the body of the cab of the car. The crane itself does work. You can see the little strings there, the little lines there. Those do work. This crane comes with a little plastic key so that you can actually operate it and make the whole thing work, which I've stuck the key right here in the boom car because it blends in nicely there. It's a low-key location for it, no pun intended, and allows for easy access to, well, the key whenever you want to operate it. So, you know, as is per usual, everything is 10 times harder when you're trying to film. You stick it on that little plastic nub, and that raises and lowers the boom. This top one raises and lowers the boom. The second one, to actually operate the hook, which let me raise the boom a little bit more, the keyhole or the key nub for the hook is right here. These boom cars were used in conjunction with the crane cars, obviously for clearance purposes, you know, so that you didn't have that big boom there trying to jut into the side of a box car, or the end of a box car rather, and also so you had somewhere to put the stuff that the crane picked up. Let me reposition this crane car and we will take a look at the rear of the cab assembly. Okay, so here on the rear of the cab assembly, you can see we have polling pockets on the frame of the car. You can see that Katie that I installed. Got a window here, you have a cast on grill here, you have cast on vent detailing here, and lots of rivet detailing throughout on both the rear of the cab assembly and also the rear of the car frame itself. Looking at the business end of this thing, you can see the cab windows. There's another one on this side over here, obviously for the operator of the crane in the prototypically speaking. Polling pockets. There's some little hatches here. I'm guessing that would be for storing additional rigging for the crane. More rivet detailing and a fair amount of rivet detailing along the top of the deck of the car ahead of the cab assembly. Looking at the underside of this car, you can see it still has the plastic wheels. I have not yet changed those out as of this filming. You can see some rivet detailing. You can see the air brake piston, some rigging, the emergency and service reservoir, the triple valve, and some of the air lines running to each of the requisite air brake items. The couplers are truck mounted. They're Talgo type couplers, so had to use KD Talgo adapters to put these KD couplers on. And the cab of the crane does rotate relatively freely. Come on, get on the track. There you go. Does rotate relatively freely. It is a little stiff, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So we will move that guy aside and take a look at the boom car. I was going to do these separately, but I mean they're meant to run together, so why not knock them both out at the same time. Alright, you have the Santa Fe Herald here, fairly nicely done. Kind of faded. I'm attributing that to the age of this car. You have a separate wood deck. Now, a separate implied wood deck. This is one plastic piece that sits on top of the car body itself. You have these little stake pockets along the side. You have a black plastic frame for the body with some fairly decent rivet detailing. You have the friction bearing 2-axle trucks. You have cast on stirrup steps here, and a cast on grab iron here and here. These wooden sides are one-piece plastic details that are attached, that sit inside of pockets kind of set in from the edge of the car to the bed of the flatbed. You have this little, what is normally used for a bobber type caboose. You have the curved hand railings there. You have cast on marker lights. These curved hand railings, of course, are cast onto the body. You do have a separately applied handbrake wheel here. The roof is a separate piece. The roof and cupola assembly are a separate piece from the plastic body of the bobber caboose body, and it sits on the car, as you can see there, as a separate assembly. Move that key so it doesn't go flying. We'll take a look at the top side view of the car, and you can see that it's missing the smoke jack, which is not a big problem. You have some wheels that are sitting in chocks here. You have some rail, and this is actual brass rail. You have some cross ties here, and you do have some nice wood grain detailing along the bed of the flat car assembly. If we look at the B end of this thing, or the rear of it, however you want to say, you can see the squared off hand railings, a cast on door, windows, and you have a cast-on stirrup step here and here. No polling pockets though, and there's the Katy that I attached. Again, these are truck mounted couplers, Talgo type couplers, so I had to use a Talgo adapter to put these Katys on here. And here's the here's a view of the A end of the car, just for your benefit, so you can see what that looks like. Again, you have the squared off hand irons or grab irons here and here, you have a cast on door, and another look at the load that's secured inside the bed of this boom car. If we look at the underside of this thing, you'll see a surprisingly decent amount of detail for a car this age. How about we scoot that over a little bit? There we go. You see the wood grain of the floor up above. Again, this is a separate, the floor, the bed of the flat car is a separate piece. You can see that by these little plastic nubbins here. It is press fit to the frame. You do have the frame and lateral support detailing. You have the center seal here. You have the brake piston, emergency and service reservoir, triple valve, and some of the air lines running throughout the brake rigging, throughout the air brake system of the car. Again, plastic wheels that I have not yet changed out, but they are relatively free rolling. Well, I've talked about all I can talk about on these cars, so let's throw them on a train and run them around the railroad, see how they handle these easy track switches and these 18-inch radius curves. I don't have a whole lot of doubts because these are essentially train set cars meant for tight curvature, but let's take a look for curiosity's sake.